Hey y'all, Uncle Jimmy here. When you speak for yourself, you're forced to think for yourself. And when you think for yourself, the sports world looks different. In order to enjoy this podcast and this show, you need to have the courage to look at the world from alternative points of view and not be offended when you disagree. Speak for yourself isn't your Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram feed. SFY tells you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. So, welcome aboard, buckle up, and enjoy the ride.
We start with a big story in Dallas presented by Hyundai, where the Cowboys took a week to announce they were moving on from Jason Garrett and then quickly found his replacement. Our own Jay Glazer says Dallas has agreed to terms with former Packers head coach Mike McCarthy to be their new head coach, with an announcement and press conference expected to take place later this week. McCarthy's resume is impressive, with a Super Bowl win in Green Bay and 4 NFC Championship appearances, but he did not finish strong with the Packers, winning just 11 games in his final 2 seasons. And there were reports of some major friction between McCarthy and quarterback Aaron Rodgers. All right, the question here is, did Jerry Jones get it right with this hire?
I think he got it right. One, we have to properly address what the criteria is in the head coaching search, and typically it goes a promotion from coordinator level. You try to reach into the college ranks and grab someone to become a professional coach, which is 2 different sports in terms of coaching. Or you look for someone who has a proven track record. And this guy, Mike McCarthy, has a Super Bowl championship. And there are only 7 other active head coaches that have a Super Bowl championship. So he checks that box. And then also I think that Jerry Jones intimately just looked at Mike McCarthy, saw Mike McCarthy and the Green Bay Packers twice beat his Cowboys in the playoffs. And you look at that situation, even Mike McCarthy in his ultimate success as a Super Bowl champion won that in Jerry's world. So maybe there's some intimacy of, I got to watch this guy up close and what he was doing versus what we were doing in contrast. All that said, I respect his hire because he's a proven coach.
I like it. I think he did hit his mark on this one. McCarthy, they needed a respected guy, a proven guy, with this type of talented roster. Also, he comes from the Marty Schottenheimer coaching tree. He's going to bring toughness. The one thing that I looked at this Dallas team was they were lacking in personality and identity. You need a guy who can have enough of pull, not so big of a personality where it makes Jerry uncomfortable, but the calm, strong demeanor to be able to really develop a personality for an identity for this team. So I think it was a great pick. Obviously, he can develop quarterback. He's had Favre, he's had Gannon, and obviously Aaron Rodgers. So I think he can really do some good things with this offense, and possibly with his defensive coordinator decision. We'll see if that is a total identity change.
Gannon, huh?
Gannon.
I like Gannon.
Don't forget Elvis Gurr back there.
Yeah, he had Gurr back too. He did have Gurr back.
Gannon.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant here. I really am. Just a little bit here. I like the pick, but still, the way he went out with Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback, coming and saying this guy's not innovative. He's go get me one of them young offensive coordinators. That's why he got ran out of Green Bay. It seems like the safe pick. A logical pick, but at the same time, if I was Jerry, I probably would have waited a little bit more to go out there and then maybe hire Mike, interview some of these young guys, or unless McCarthy said, hey, I got this plan, Jerry. Here's my assistant coaches. Here's the guy I want to bring in. I'm going to bring in a young guy. I can evolve. Don't listen to what Aaron said. He don't know. He just, whatever. Whatever, explain what the relationship was there to make me feel comfortable if I'm Jerry. But I think this is also Jerry's way of saying, maybe he's giving up the reins. Maybe he's listening to all the naysayers saying, you need to get out of the way and let a proven coach come in here and coach this team. So I know you like definitive answers sometimes, but I don't know here. I'm kind of split down the middle.
You've teed me up. You've put me along the path. I don't like the hire. It's a bad hire. And, I have been on a roller coaster ride with Mike McCarthy since the early 1990s. He came to Kansas City under, I think, Paul Hackett was the offensive coordinator, and he was allegedly Joe Montana's quarterback coach. And I was a critic in the 90s. Mike gets to Green Bay, becomes a head coach, shocks the hell out of me, wins a Super Bowl, and I had to give him credit. Hey, man, this guy, clearly my narrative on him early was wrong. But then now in 2019, when I look back at what Mike McCarthy accomplished in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, arguably the most talented quarterback in the NFL history. Brett Favre, one of the most talented guys in NFL history. The guy's got 1 Super Bowl. And
One more than Garrett.
Yeah, I got it. And Jason Garrett would be sitting there saying, I've had Dak Prescott and Tony Romo. This guy's had Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. That's not a fair. I'm not. Jerry Jones, to me, is supposed to, and the Dallas Cowboys, they're supposed to be Barry Bonds. They're supposed to swing for the fences. I don't like it when Barry Bonds draws a walk. And so, yeah, they got on base with Mike McCarthy. So what? This is a franchise that should be swinging for the fences all the time and trying to be an innovator and trying to do something that others are afraid to do. This is one of the safest choices I think you could make. It makes me want to yawn. And when I think about Dak Prescott, if Mike McCarthy couldn't get the best out of Aaron Rodgers, he gonna get the best out of Dak.
He's considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And let me just.
And Aaron Rodgers just ran his ass.
Oh, okay, we going there. All right, well, prepare for
At
your
the end.
Yeah, prepare for your death by 1,000 paper cuts. I will use your words against you and kill you with your words. You told me last couple weeks that the best coach in NFL for the last 2 years has been who?
Sean Payton.
And how many rings does he have?
He's got 1 Super Bowl.
Okay, no. 1 Super Bowl ring, right? Let's keep it clear.
Yeah.
And he has a Hall of Fame quarterback as well, right?
Drew Brees ain't Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, but go ahead. I hear your point.
Oh, he's not.
What?
He
ain't even close.
He's somewhere between those. If he better than Brett Favre, I'll say that.
What?
But I'm gonna let that go. Here we go. You ready for this, Jason? So, if you're talking about one guy who did the best coaching job, but he only has 1 ring, why would you now talk harshly about someone else who's in that same position with an arguably same quarterback?
Well, one, because I've been tracking Mike McCarthy since the 1990s, early 1990s. Again, I have more knowledge, feel more confident with this opinion than a lot of other.
Well, Jeff Fisher used to be great too in the 90s.
No. But I'm just saying, I've been following Mike McCarthy's career his entire time. I have more information. That's why I feel more confident with this opinion. Sean Payton is someone I've been following from afar, and I stand by all those things about Sean Payton. Sean Payton's been suspended for a year. Sean Payton's had a chance to go to the Super Bowl taken away from him for a year. I just don't think it's an apples-to-apples comparison. And Sean Payton, I'm just sorry, Drew Brees is a hell of a player, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. But he's not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a 2-time MVP? How many times was Brett Favre MVP? This guy played with generational, once-in-a-lifetime, multiple winning, best players in the NFL, guys, and he got 1 Super Bowl out of it.
All right, we don't have to get bogged down by that because I said 1,000 paper cuts. That was only 1. Here's another thing. As Aaron Rodgers in actual production, did he get better without Mike McCarthy or not? Because we get clouded in the conversation because we see 13-3 as a record. Look at Aaron Rodgers' numbers this year. Was his quarterback rating better this year with or without his coach? Oh, it wasn't. Did he throw more interceptions this year? I know they're all few, 4-2. He didn't even look the same without Mike McCarthy, even though he ran Mike McCarthy out of town.
They're not hiring Mike McCarthy to get better stats out of Dak Prescott. They're hiring Mike McCarthy for the Cowboys to get more wins.
And a championship like he has.
Right, but again, to get more wins. The Packers have far more wins this year. It doesn't matter what the stats look like from the quarterback. You're hiring these coaches to get wins. This is a very safe, uninspiring hire. I think the real intent behind it initially was, hey, if we can get Mike McCarthy and maybe package him with Marvin Lewis as the defensive coordinator, that would be something. We got 2 very experienced guys, one running the offense. Marvin Lewis probably wasn't interested. Now they go with this safe choice of Mike McCarthy. I just don't, does nothing for me.
I like it.
You know, here's why I like it. And I can understand it being boring, and I can understand it, not.
Let me add one more thing. Let me add one more thing.
Sure.
He's not a personality that's going to remotely challenge Jerry Jones. Jerry's not backing off in any way with this hire.
That's why I like
this hire, to me, says Jerry's still going to be the face and voice of this franchise.
That's why I like it. That's why I like it, because you're not going to get away from Jerry being who Jerry is. I think we've established that. This is not an overly demonstrative individual in Mike McCarthy. but he is adequate at what he does. Now, saying that he wasn't
They got
innovative,
a commercial out about this right now about adequate or just okay.
Just okay.
I like it.
all right.
That's
all right.
basically what
Hold
we
on,
got
but,
here.
really? But in that commercial, nobody got a Super Bowl championship. Don't you do that.
It's a nice grab. It's a nice little deal. But here with Mike McCarthy in this situation, he can build the identity of a very talented roster. You don't have to get too creative with what you have. You have the product in place right now. You need someone who can come in and lead it the right way. Is he a strong enough personality to be able to lead it? I do believe he is. Is he innovative enough to be able to put the right pieces in place to go around or go along with the offensive, defensive, and special team side? That has yet to be seen. It remains to be seen now, today. But if you're putting your bet down on a Mike McCarthy to have success with this type of roster, I would argue that he's not had a roster as good as the one that he's walking into with this Dallas situation. He doesn't have to be too over the top with what he's doing. Just do what he does in the past, and I think he'll be all right.
So is Jerry going to get out of the way, though?
No,
and right now, Jerry,
no.
I think Jerry wants to get out of the way right now. Today, I believe he does. But once things get going again, it's like a New Year's resolution. It's like, hey, we lost, we got our butt kicked. I'm going to hire this guy who's had this great experience, and I'm going to get out of the way. I've learned my lesson. I'm getting old. I want to win this Super Bowl. I don't care anymore. But I think once the season starts, once you get back to that old way, the habits are hard to change. It's hard to change.
But Jerry
I don't know if Jerry's going to change.
Tony, Jerry doesn't want to get out the way. Therefore, he hires someone.
You don't think he wants to at this point?
No,
because
he
of
hires
the
someone.
Success of their team this year?
No, Mike McCarthy's personality. He's not contentious, but he ain't a punk. So this is the beauty of Mike McCarthy, because ask Aaron Rodgers, is he a punk? No, we're going to go at it. But ask upstairs, is he contentious? No, he's going to go with the company line. That's the beauty of this hire. We talk about you hire a coach to win. In his 13 seasons, 8 consecutive playoff appearances, 4 conference championship appearances, 6 division titles. We talk about him going to the Cowboys. This is his second round of the opportunity. What did Belichick do in this second opportunity? Oh, the Patriots. What did Pete Carroll do in this second opportunity? Oh, the Seahawks. Even Andy Reid, what is he doing in Kansas City? And we're not going to give Mike McCarthy, one of 8 coaches with a Super Bowl championship, a second opportunity around that block?
Listen, I think Andy Reid's a good analogy, and Mike has a Super Bowl appearance, but I've never heard anybody. For years, Andy Reid is an offensive genius. Everybody agrees with that. That was his reputation. It's been proven wherever he goes. That's never been Mike's reputation. Aaron Rodgers is a genius, and Aaron Rodgers had problems with him. And the last thing we heard, and I don't want to take a major dump on, this is an uninspiring hire. I don't want to take a major dump on Mike McCarthy. But the last thing we heard was about him getting massages during team meetings. Do y'all remember that?
Oh, yeah.
This is a dude that was mailing it in, and now, in some people's mind, Aaron Rodgers just ran out of the franchise. And he's now going over to Jerry Jones, who still wants control. Because, Tony, I just want to be clear. We're talking about Mike McCarthy, not Urban Meyer. If they had hired Urban Meyer, that would have been a sign to me, oh, Jerry's going to stand down.
Right.
Hiring Mike McCarthy means Jerry's learned nothing. He's got another guy in here that he can control, that will be beholden to him, and will, if necessary, during game week of preparation, will go upstairs and get massages while Jerry and whoever he's controlling will go down there and coach the team.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair what you just did.
Man.
And I'm gonna start.
What's wrong with a massage?
I'm gonna start right here. And fair doesn't have to be a part of it. But what I'm saying is, we're acting like Aaron Rodgers is the football
Two-time
god.
MVP,
right?
One of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen.
Who was his coach?
Well,
who was his coach?
And who was the coach that he fired?
Who was his coach?
Who was the coach that he fired and said wasn't good enough?
Well, you have to get down the road to be good enough to say that. I'm good enough to say you got to go, right? If first year Tony Gonzalez says, coach got to go, they sitting there looking at Tony like he got 5 eyes on his head. The Hall of Fame Tony Gonzalez says, I'm not getting production, I need more help. They're going to listen to it. I don't think it's fair to move so far down the line to where Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy part way. I mean, we're talking about that with Belichick and Tom Brady right now.
Yeah.
Does that disqualify the development that had to take place for Aaron Rodgers to become the Aaron Rodgers that he is in the National Football League? Because I don't remember hearing that much about Aaron Rodgers in college. All right, I know he's pretty good, but I don't remember hearing that much. He's pretty good. Well, I mean, of course you would know. Of course you would know. I ain't going with that.
Don't go that far.
LeVar, you sound a lot like Mike McCarthy because he didn't think much of Aaron Rodgers either. He hadn't heard of him either. That's why he put his name on Alex Smith as the best quarterback in that draft over Aaron Rodgers.
And he coached Alex Smith.
I know, and proven wrong. You will agree with me, and I love Alex Smith, a friend of mine, but Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than he is.
Who coached Aaron Rodgers from the start to his
There's a point about
stardom.
Evaluation. And I'm going to give you another quarterback who Mike McCarthy had a chance to evaluate and decided wasn't good enough. Taysom Hill. He let him go. Sean Payton, oh no, we'll take this guy. And clearly they have something with Taysom Hill. This guy's evaluation of the most important position in football, suspect. Aaron Rodgers is in agreement with me on this, and he's been...
How can Aaron Rodgers be in agreement?
He came into...
He owes his career to Mike McCarthy.
His head coach... No, he doesn't.
He owes his career to Mike McCarthy.
Yes.
That's
like saying owe it to whoever drafted you. Get out of here. You don't even believe that. You don't even believe that, so stop
the team that he played for.
Walks into a head coaching career with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and I'm supposed to throw
Whitlock, let me say one thing. You know what?
Happening.
You know that here's an evaluation that is suspect, and it's not just talking about Mike McCarthy and talent. It's Aaron Rodgers and character. We all know.
Thank you. That's where I was going to go.
This is a fearless show, right? Aaron Rodgers don't even talk to his own family, they say. Hold on. I've had my own encounters with Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, oh, you a different dude. Respect, but you a different dude. And now I'm going to trust him on the exit narrative of Mike McCarthy out the door that all he was doing was massages?
I'm going to tell you why you should give him a little trust. 4-7-1 last year. And 13-3 and the number one.
And don't choose last year. Go back a little bit further. Let's go 13-3.
12, 11,
Let's go 11, 10, 15.
Just remember, they're playing the game for one-loss records and victories, not stats.
Oh, no.
Aaron Rodgers is cool with these 15, stats at 13-3.
He's cool with these stats?
Hell yes.
Okay. Mess around and lose this weekend, see how cool he was with them stats.
That's a different story. Now you got into wins and losses.
But Super Bowl championship, he already got that with McCarthy.
Simply Safe Home Security is like getting commercial-grade, enterprise-level security, but for your own home. Think about the security Fortune 500 companies use. They need to know police are going to be on the scene immediately. This is exactly the kind of security you get with Simply Safe. If there's a break-in, Simply Safe uses real video evidence to give police an eyewitness account of the crime. And that means police dispatch up to 350% faster than for a normal burglar alarm. With Simply Safe, you get comprehensive protection for your home. Outdoor cameras and doorbells alert you to anyone approaching your home. Plus, Simply Safe protects your home from fires, water damage, and carbon monoxide poisoning. It's all monitored 24/7 by live security professionals. You can set up your system yourself with no tools needed, or Simply Safe's experts can do it for you. It's only 50 cents a day with no contracts. Go to simplysafe.com/speak today to get free shipping on your order, plus a 60-day money-back guarantee. That's simplysafe.com/speak, SPEAK, to save on home security today. Simply Safe, SIMPLISAFE.com/speak. Tony Gonzalez is back. We're joined now by Steelers legend, future Hall of Famer James Harrison. Let's return to the NFL. All right, Tom Brady kicked off the wild card weekend, quoting the actor Christopher Walken from the cult movie Pool Hall Junkies. Via Instagram, Brady released a hype video analogizing himself and the Patriots to a resting lion that eventually devours the hyenas and jackals that foolishly misinterpreted the lion's posture.
Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals who he is. It's too late to be scared.
As we now know, or as we know now, Brady quoted the wrong movie. The Tennessee Titans eliminated Brady and the Patriots from the playoffs Saturday night, 20-13. After the game, the Titans and their coach, Mike Vrabel, mocked the notion that they were hyenas and jackals to be devoured by Brady. In his anger and frustration over a challenging regular season that ended with the Dolphins embarrassing the Patriots inside Gillette Stadium, Brady broke character and gave an opponent an emotional edge. The video was a mistake. Did it cost the Patriots the game? No. Rob Gronkowski's retirement and Antonio Brown's stupidity are reasons 1 and 2 for the Patriots' demise. Brady is number 3. He is the Lion King who walked into a stampede set up by his Patriot brother, Vrabel. Saturday was Mufasa versus Scar. Vrabel and the Patriots defense led New England to its first 3 Super Bowl titles, but Vrabel and his defensive teammates could never be seen as the head of the Patriots' pride. Brady was anointed the Lion King. Saturday, Vrabel knocked Brady from his weakening grasp on the top of the cliff. Long live the king! Brady fell to his death. The problem is, I'm not sure Brady and Robert Simba Kraft realized what happened. After the game, Brady stated he still wants to play, but according to media reports, Brady has no interest in playing for a hometown discounted price. Kraft said his hope and prayer is that Brady is a Patriot next season. They need to let it go. Football is a young man's game. NFL rule changes have allowed quarterbacks to delay the full ramifications of father time. 40 is the new 36, but 40 isn't the new 30, and 43 is too old to be anybody's high-priced franchise quarterback. We entered the weekend wondering how Brady would perform if he were afforded the same kind of weapons as Drew Brees in New Orleans. Well, now we know 40-year-old Drew Brees looked old and problematic with all those weapons in a loss to the Vikings. It's a young man's game. Brady put together the most accomplished career we've ever seen in team sports. His place in sports history is assured. He's next to Ali and Jordan as the greatest. I hope he doesn't heel turn to entitled. Bill Belichick and the Patriots do not owe Brady a soft landing or a fat contract. If Brady is willing to play next season on another discounted contract, then it could possibly make sense to re-sign him and draft a rookie. Possibly. But the reality is Brady is done as an elite quarterback. He's an old man trying to hang on for too long. He's making the same mistake as Joe Montana. All right, Marcellus, should Tom Brady retire?
No, not at all. And I don't think anybody should let it leave their lips, have the audacity to suggest that he should retire unless you were at his first Pop Warner practice. And even then, his parents, he probably only needed a ride. Because guess what? At age 8, Tom Brady's been on a mission, and no one should ever tell you to let that dream go, especially when really the reason that we want him to go, the critics are saying, is because of our entertainment value will be damaged. Oh, our thoughts and images and perception of Tom Brady would lessen if he goes out there and is just a fraction of himself. And let him go out and figure that out. And let's just be real. Put him on the correct offensive roster with any support on defense. You will see a different Tom Brady than you saw this year. And let me remind you, that was 12 wins and 4,000 yards, even with that inept offense in terms of arsenal surrounding him. So, yeah, Tom Brady, keep balling, big dog.
I agree with you. I couldn't agree more. He shouldn't retire. Even with his numbers that he put up, yeah, it was low here, it was low there, but when you go to it, his completion percentage, he had the second highest drop-graded passes of all, in the NFL. Even, Edelman, he was playing hurt. I think he had the most drop passes of all receivers. You put that into account, you give him, like you said, more weapons around him, a better offensive line to where they don't have to start doing, quick passes here and there, running little shallow routes or screens, every other play to try and stop pressure from getting to him. Then I think he has another year or two at least, playing for another team. If not, they can get the weapons in there that they need. And I see him being able to sit in New England, especially with the relationship that he has with Kraft. I don't see him going anywhere. He shouldn't retire.
If he wants to play, go ahead, Tom. Do whatever you want, because I still think he can play. He's not the quarterback that he used to be, and that's fine. But he's still a pretty good, obviously a really good quarterback, and I think a lot of teams out there would take him. But looking at I thought about this morning, and I'm thinking, if I were him, what would I do? What would I want to do? And if Josh McDaniels leaves, if some of these Vanoy, I heard some guys are under contract, they have cap room. The only way I would come back is if you can go out and get Gronk, you can go get me another good receiver to keep Edelman and all that stuff, then maybe I would want to come back. But if he wants that fresh start, he put his house up on the market, I think, could you imagine him coming to L.A.? I'm just looking at all his options. Coming to play for the Chargers. They got receivers. They got tight ends. Coming to Tinseltown, kind of like LeBron James. They all want to come to L.A. That would be something where I could see Tom doing legacy. He's still, I don't know why he wants to play. He's got 6 rings and all the money in the world, hot wife, all that stuff. But, hey, this is a free country. You can do whatever you want. You want to play for Los Angeles Chargers? Play for the Los Angeles Chargers.
And that new stadium?
Dude, why not? Open up that stadium. That's the only place. And I think, I'm telling you, I think I could see that happening. That'd be the only place if I were him.
Let me ask both of y'all something.
Yeah.
What price? What? If you're, let's say New England, what are you willing to pay Tom Brady? Because it's, according to reports, he won't play for a discount anymore. So you're willing to pay Tom Brady $30.
Your reports could be wrong.
He's posturing.
Well, let's be real. First rule of negotiations, never set your price.
Exactly.
I'm listening. What do you offer? I'm not saying my number first.
He needs to play. If he's going to stay in New England, it has to be damn near on the same deal he got this year.
23, he got bumped up to 23.
The only thing that makes sense.
And last
a
year it was
discounted deal.
Yeah.
And he'll do that, though. That's the only
They're
reason why I
saying
call him.
he won't do it.
I think he's posturing, though.
is
I don't
that?
believe that. He's done it
Give
his
me a
whole
name.
career.
Well, that is
I think it was Glazer, the same guy that said Mike McCarthy's getting. Glazer's pretty
No
solid.
more hometown discounts.
He's done that his whole career.
Not his whole career. He did it. He got his big money, and then he was like, all right, I got married to Giselle. Let's build a team.
And he's been doing that, and that's why I think he's the greatest. If you had to say, I don't believe in the GOAT, but if you had to say greatest of all time, the only thing that separates him from all the other Joe Montanas and John Elways is he takes less money. And I think he would do that in L.A.
But they also undermine him trying to do that. He said before, give my money to Wes Welker, build roster around me. Look at this team right now. They had a chance that Jared Cook lost him. Had a chance, traded away their tight end during draft time this year. N'Keal Harry, they could have had DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown, like everyone. But this is a roster not constructed. Why come back at this team?
Are you going to pay this dude a bunch of money?
If I'm the Chargers, yes. If I'm the Patriots, no. Because if I'm Tom Brady, why go back to this roster? This roster, I don't want to say sabotage, but it certainly didn't look like they had Tom Brady's best interest in building around him.
So, okay.
They tried with AB,
but let me ask you this then.
Chargers, yes.
Should the Patriots, under what we just talked, should they want Tom Brady back if, again, particularly if they have to pay him a bunch of money? No,
not with this roster. They had the oldest defense. Even though 11 of the 22 starters are 29 or older, the defense is overrated. Offense, your best weapon is Edelman. Edelman led in drops. Edelman dropped the biggest ball of that game, cost them the game almost, or at least that drive continuing. They have it first and goal on the 1-yard line, run the ball 3 times left, lose 2 yards. All this is falling on Brady. What's going to change next year? You draft some rookies, you get one free agent in free agency in offense. If I'm Tom Brady, my sights are set elsewhere.
My thing is this. He's given that organization too much to not make the call of if or if not, he's going to be there. And his relationship with Kraft, I've watched it, I've seen it. It's way too strong for them to just say, hey, even if he says, look, I want to make certain amount of money or I'll take less amount of money, but get this in place first so that I can do what it is I feel is necessary to be productive and get back to the level of championship level. I believe they have that relationship to where he can sit there and he can say that to Kraft. Because, like I said, I've sat there and watched. The only thing that's going to stop Tom from coming back is Tom. Kraft wants him back. That's not...
At what price, though? Kraft is saying
Kraft
he ain't going to open up the checkbook because he didn't do it this time.
He
didn't do it this time.
He's that relationship.
Dude, why didn't you do it before then?
Well, Kraft said it. I don't know if you guys read that article, but, I mean, he said, look, I want him here or I want him to retire, but if he does want to go somewhere else, there's no way what he's done for this organization, go somewhere. So he's given his blessing.
That's double talking. Kraft's my guy.
No, he said that off rip, dude.
Columbia Lion, that's my guy. That's the homie. I'm going to tell you this. One, you don't make Tom Brady have a lame duck season if you want him to retire here. Two, if it was just about him leaving or staying here as a Patriot, you make that decision for him. You open up the checkbook. Tom Brady had to fight tooth and nail just to get an upgrade to $23 million. So Kraft can say whatever he wants, but what's the universal language of love in sports? How much you paying me, bro?
But I also believe this, too. First of all, don't give Kraft too much credit. The thing that makes him so great is he lets Belichick. This is Belichick. Right. I don't think that's Kraft.
Okay.
That's Belichick pulling the strings, saying, okay, this is how we're going to do it. We want to win. You can't have that much money, Tom. We can't give you $35 million if you want to be if you have a great team, and especially at this point in his career. This is just looking at what happened. How frustrated was Tom Brady this year? Watching him on the sideline, yelling at. I've never seen it like this. He's got a bad taste in his mouth. I do not think he's going back to the New England Patriots. Agreed. And I think he saw this coming, and he's out of there now.
Okay, so should the Patriots want him back?
I would want him back, but I don't think he's going back.
You'd want him back, but would there be a limit to how much you would pay?
I would give him the same that I paid him this year. And for Tom,
there you go.
I would give him, because the cap's going up. Here's $23 million. What do you want? Because they have to entice him now. He's no longer here. They got to recruit him. You've been a free agent. They got to recruit you now. Okay, what are you going to put on the table for me? And Tom can say, well, I need this tight end. I need to go get a receiver.
Right.
You guys got rid of Anthony.
He's going to get to make those calls.
And he kind of got it this year.
Get this, get that, and then.
I'm going to tell you why he can't make those calls. Mm-hmm. Because Bill Belichick has earned the right as well. Everything you think
I understand what you're saying.
Everything you think Tom Brady's earned, Bill Belichick has earned, and even a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, I would give Bill Belichick more. I would say Belichick is worth more than Brady, because you can coach forever. And if you go and you look even at his coaching tree, you know, the guys that he's put out there, 3 of the 4 losses he had this year were from guys that coached under him. You know what I'm saying? Even last year, Matt Patricia, the Lions, he beat him.
So my point is, Bill Belichick, there's a limit to what he wants to pay Brady and what he thinks Brady's worth. Bill Belichick likely agrees with my position. This dude's too old.
I agree with you.
He's too old
to
pay too much money
year or two at
and
most.
Brady's saying he wants more money, and Belichick's like, you know what?
I just don't see it being about the money, man.
We did 20 years. Let's move on. It's time to move. I think Belichick would just like to move on, regardless of what Tom's willing to accept.
For Tom, I don't see it being about the money. I mean, I just don't. His wife makes more money than him. You got everything else going on that you need. Like, it's about his legacy, and he wants to get another Super Bowl. I'm Tom Brady. Do I want my last pass play to be a pick six?
No, you don't. But also going back to that situation is going to ensure that your last games will be worse than what we saw this year. This roster is not built for Tom Brady.
And that's why I said, let him get what he wants. If he can't, then he go leave.
But Tom Brady's smart, man. One, he's already been not stabbed in the back, but certainly sabotaged by where I wanted my money to go in pay cut. It didn't go. Look at the roster around me. So he can feel slighted to the point of why he's so frustrated. But Kraft and Belichick are running a classic game of good cop, bad cop. Because Belichick is sitting there like, I don't think that you are worthy of a high price tag. But Kraft would say, we want you to be a Patriot for life or retire. So guess what? Tom Brady is going to sit there and say, what I'm going to ask is something you're not going to give me, so don't tell me you want me to stay a Patriot. Grandma used to always warn me about cats like this. She said, one hand they rub you, the other hand they pet you. And I didn't know the difference. And now you know the difference. They're saying one thing and hoping that he's going to do different just so they could save face as the Patriots organization.
I think you're looking at it's 2 parents, okay? You got Kraft and Belichick. Yeah. And Tom is the prodigal son, the savior. And I think right now, they're going to stick together. The parents are going to stick together because Belichick's going to be there. He's got the longevity. He's got another 10, 15 years of coaching if he wants to. Tom, you only have maybe a year or 2 left. That's why I don't think once these guys get together, if I'm Kraft, I'm talking to Bill, and Bill's going to be like, we got to let him go.
We got to let him go. And don't say that.
Let him go.
I'm going to go back to, this is why I think he should retire. I saw Joe Montana come to Kansas City and do 2 years. And it was fine. I don't think Joe regrets it, but it wasn't satisfactory for him.
It was a championship game, though. Didn't they go to AFC championship?
First year.
Yeah.
Next year, he got beat up, and they wouldn't let him loose until the end of the... Anyway, it was a compromised mess. I don't think it served Joe's purpose long term. We talk about physical fitness a lot, but there's another side to the game that's just as important. I'm talking about mental fitness. Calm, the #1 app for sleep and meditation, has teamed up with LeBron James to help you train your mind. LeBron and Calm know that your mind is like any other muscle in your body, and Calm can help you train your brain so you sleep better, have less stress, and perform at your best. For LeBron James, sleep is an important part of his mental fitness routine. He says, getting good sleep and finding time to rest is one of the most valuable things I can do for my body and mind. And if you head to calm.com/sports40, you'll get 40% off a Calm premium membership. With Calm, you have access to nature scenes LeBron loves and so much more, like sleep stories and meditations. For a limited time, our listeners can join LeBron in using Calm with a 40% discount to an annual membership at calm.com/sports40. Unlock content to help you focus, ease stress, and sleep better. Get started at calm.com/sports40. That's calm.com/sports40. Whitlock and Wiley, Tony Gonzalez and James Harrison are back. Let's move to New Orleans, where the Vikings coughed up a 20-10 lead to the Saints, but hung on to win in overtime thanks to the often criticized Kirk Cousins connecting with Adam Thielen on a pass that Troy Aikman called the biggest of his career. Cousins then hit Kyle Rudolph on third down for the game-winning touchdown, and the Vikings are moving on to face the 49ers next week in the divisional round. All right, the question here is, did Kirk Cousins silence his critics?
Oh, absolutely. At least he should have. Oh, good Lord. This dude was playing in Washington most of his career, and they talking about, oh, he's not clutch. He can't win a Super Bowl championship. In Washington, playing on Monday Night Football, not exactly the best sample size to see if a guy has the proper resources around him to make clutch moments happen. And what are clutch moments? Obviously, critical points in the game, and more importantly, important games. And how many important games did Washington have? So now we see him in a hostile environment, New Orleans, on the road, going against a Hall of Famer, potential GOAT in himself in Drew Brees. And what does he do? Before this play was that picture-perfect dime he threw to Adam Thielen, on top of just having command the entire game. I hope the critics shut up.
No way. He didn't silence no critics.
Except you, Big Dog. You keep
it's not possible. Listen, he got lucky. A broke clock is right twice a day.
Okay.
Oh, you understand that? And like my daddy said, the sun shine on the dog ass every once in a while, and it shined on him. Okay,
still a dog.
That's it. It's no way. I do not. He's not going to silence me until I see more consistency. He went there with no pressure. Nobody was expecting him to win. Did you see how he reacted after that win? He didn't even expect to win. Ooh, all this other stuff. If you out there and you're like, you know what, I'm about to go out here and dog these boys, and you get done, you done dog them boys, you gonna react like that? Have you ever?
No. Monkey off his back, though. Give him that.
I give him the monkey off his back for right now.
Right. That's
but
what
until
celebrated.
No. I'm not believing in this. He's not silencing anyone. Next week he go down there. Even if he beat them, I'm still not believing it because he's going down there again with no pressure. With no pressure, and nobody's expecting him to win.
They got a squad. No pressure.
Nobody's expecting him to win. They expect him to go down there and choke, do Kirk Cousins type things.
I like Kirk. I've liked Kirk for a long. I've been in.
I got no personal against him.
I thought he played really well last year. They lost, and it wasn't because of him. He needs a running game. When Kirk Cousins, first of all, he's not. When he has a running game, he is an elite quarterback. Just look at the numbers, what he's done since he's been here with the Minnesota Vikings. When Dalvin Cook is playing, and I said this before the game yesterday, if Dalvin Cook shows up, this guy, his play action pass ability with those receivers, he's going to make some plays. I like Kirk as long as Dalvin Cook is running the football. Without Dalvin Cook, he gets back to that inconsistent Kirk. But I'm happy for him, too. That's a monkey off. That's a gorilla off his back, man. Just to win a playoff game finally, I think this is great for him. I'm so happy for him.
I just don't think in the wild card round you can silence critics. You can temporarily put a little tape over their mouth, but again, it's a wild card round, and the man's got like $90 million guaranteed. They didn't pay the dude $90 million guaranteed to win wild card playoff games. He's supposed to be a guy that is supposed to be able to elevate you all the way to the Super Bowl at that price. So for me, I do think he proved a little something, and I've been a long-time critic going all the way back to Washington, but he needs to win this weekend against the 49ers before I'm really willing to back all the way up.
What's unfair about that is you can gas the fire in a wild card round. Imagine he goes out there and lay an egg, but you can't extinguish it with the same opportunity. Unfair by you in terms of that judgment and that opportunity for judgment. Kirk Cousins, as Tony talked about, is a guy that, I'm going to say a name, but I'm talking early season failures and bigger moments. Peyton Manning, and I'm not comparing the quarterbacks. I'm just saying I'm comparing the narratives.
You comparing him to Peyton Manning?
Damn, I knew somebody was going to say, when I was preparing,
Don't even bring the name up. We going to compare it.
I prepared this argument, and I knew somebody was going to do that. And I said, I hope somebody doesn't do that. And you did it, but it's okay. Peyton Manning couldn't win the big one. Couldn't win the big one. And it was all sorts of reasons. But if we just look at the narrative, not the quarterback, didn't we learn a lesson?
No.
It's like Peyton Manning can't win the big one.
We got the challenge line going on, but yeah. But look, no, at the end of the day, the narrative about Peyton Manning in big games is still true. He was not the kind of big game quarterback that Tom Brady and some of these other guys were. No, he wasn't the same. Yeah. All right, challenge line, what you got, Darnell?
Whitlock, James, I'm with y'all, man. Kirk didn't show me enough to prove that he signed the credit. Well, I want to ask y'all, though, everybody's talking about it. Man. This play right here, the game-winning touchdown, was this an offensive pass interference?
Yes.
Hell no.
Hell yes.
Come on, Whit.
Listen. That man right there is a 60-something pound. The DB is 200 pounds, and he gave him the flick. That flick of the wrist, that's about 240 pounds of pressure.
Look at that flick of the wrist.
Pushing him off, okay? If he had did a little acting and did the Matrix throwback, they would have threw the flag, but he didn't.
He did. That's his fault. He should have did that. Look.
What do you say? Is that a pass interference?
Definitely he gained an advantage, but for me, where we grew up, this is fine. To me, this is fine. I think playoff football, you saw a lot of calls, very questionable calls that they would call in during the regular season. That's how it is in playoff football. Let them play. Let them go out there and jostle.
The game would be 7 hours if they called this. But you know what? It was technically by the letter of the rule. That is beyond PI. You got an advantage, and you have a
get the wrist,
and the extension, and the flick of the wrist,
and the flick of the wrist,
flick of the wrist. But
I'm
glad they didn't call this.
Thank you.
I'm with that.
Yeah,
I'm glad they didn't call this.
I'm glad they didn't call, but it was PI.
Okay, I'll say that then. I agree. It is PI.
Yeah,
but I don't want to call it.
I don't want to call
it.
Right.
You don't want to be the one calling that one. Like even if he had gave a little tug holding on to the jersey, you wouldn't have called that.
No. And vice versa. If he had a little hold on his arm a little bit, and I would have said don't call it.
James Harrison and LeVar Arrington are back. Time now for Darnell's question of the day. All right, take it away, homeboy.
Yes, sir. We got a couple guys at the desk who's known for some big hits. Want to get y'all opinions on this?
Yeah.
Jadeveon Clowney knocked Carson Wentz out of the game in the first quarter as the Seahawks went on to beat the Eagles 17-9. Wentz was initially questionable to return from the hit and then ruled out at halftime. Eagles offensive tackle Jason Peters called it a dirty play by Clowney. So I wanted to ask you guys, was this a dirty hit?
I want to ask you, what couple you talking about? Only 2 guys here known for big hits, you said? Like,
not everybody.
At least 3, 4 of us up here.
I don't know how Whit was hitting.
Dirty as hell.
Dirty as hell.
It was dirty.
Yeah, dirty.
I can't think of the year and when it happened, but it reminds me of a hit on Donovan McNabb towards the goal line where someone dove into his back and hurt him. But yeah, this is dirty. And the reason it happened is because this dude's in a contract year.
Oh.
And he came out there trying to impact this game any way that he could and hopes that he's earned some big contract from the Seahawks for putting this guy out of the game. Dirty hit.
Dirty as hell. 1, nobody tackles like that unless there's intention. 2, you never dive full speed head first into the ground, torpedo tackle, as we say, unless you want to do that. That's not proper tackling technique. So in a situation like this, I just think he wanted to send a message. I don't think he was intentionally trying to hurt him. It's just like I want to send a message. When you play fight with your brother, you want him to feel everything, but not hurt your brother. I think in that situation, he wanted him to feel all of Jadeveon Clowney, but not hurt him. But still, that crosses the line. That's dirty.
It was dirty. It was definitely dirty.
Go.
And I generally tend, I know y'all sitting there like, man, VAR going to sit there and say it wasn't dirty. It's a playoff game. You're keyed up. I can recall playing against Seattle in the playoffs and knocking out Sean Alexander.
My dog.
And wanted to. So I was a knockout artist too. But the difference here.
What?
The difference
here.
Is it
a contract year too?
No. I was just out there. I'm
talking about a big head.
No.
What are you talking?
Anyways, yeah, it's contract year. But for him to throw his head down the way that he did, I called it spearing. Where I came from, it was called spearing. If you go to spear, you're putting your head down. And it's not only dangerous and you end up hurting the quarterback, but he could have paralyzed himself. If that body isn't there when he goes down, man. Well, he could have injured his own neck. They could have been carting him off. And we're trying to correct a lot of these things that are wrong in terms of the way.
Let's go to the voice of reason over here.
Yeah. Definitely dirty.
Now, I've been looking at this for about the last couple minutes here, and I've been trying to shape this every way I could to make it where it wasn't dirty and it was just kind of messy.
Right. Isn't messy dirty?
Messy's not dirty, it's just not clean.
Message.
That's true. There's a difference.
It's a difference, okay? So I'm with you.
You can have clean.
He's going in there, and he is going in there with ill intentions.
Yeah.
To put a hurting on him.
And he did.
And to be honest, he did what he planned to do. He didn't injure him, but he hurt him enough to get him out of the game.
Somebody data-boyed him. What's crazy?
Oh, no.
What's crazy is somebody data-boyed him after.
Well, there's no question. Look, no. Listen, the Seattle Seahawks are pleased as punch with Jadeveon Clowney. He just helped them win a playoff game.
Yes, he did.
The Philadelphia Eagles are mad as hell and should be. And the NFL should be mad as hell and hit this dude with a serious fine. This has to be eliminated from football because one of the PR, but also it ruined the game.
Yeah.
The Carson Wentz and Russell Wilson were set to have the nightcap to a terrific playoff weekend. Every one of these games was unbelievable, wild, except for this one. Yeah. And it's because Jadeveon Clowney, thirsty as hell in a contract year, did a dirty hit on Carson Wentz, and he's hoping the payoff is that they give him a huge contract. Hey, guys, we're going to go to the Super Six. We're going to get out of this segment a little quicker because we all agree here. Dirty hit. Yeah. Did anyone win the Super Six this weekend?
Yes, sir, they did. Huge congratulations to the fan in Atlanta who got all 6 questions correct. Went home with Terry Bradshaw's $25,000.
Wow.
So be sure to download the Fox Sports Super 6 and play for free. Your chance to win.
Time for the most fearless discussion of the day. Many, including myself, felt like the Saints were the team to beat in the NFC. But once again, they fell short of expectations, losing to the Vikings in overtime, 26-20. Drew Brees struggled for much of the game, throwing an interception into double coverage and losing a fumble late in the fourth quarter. With the loss, Brees falls to 8-8 all-time in the playoffs, and his performance against the Vikings ranks as one of the all-time worst in the postseason. Did Drew Brees cost the Saints the game?
Yes-ish. I want to get off that fence, but look, he did lead them to the game-time field goal after that moment, and then we all know what occurred. But I would have to lean yes, because my emotions during that game is like Drew Brees is not helping this team. And what hurt more than just Drew Brees' performance was the performance of Taysom Hill. Whoa! When he came in, every time he came in with that spark plug, I said, it's not looking good for you, Drew, out there. And you could tell. Team energy, everything was changing drastically between who was under center. So I would have to lean yes, even though Drew Brees did help them fight to tie that ball game up.
I agree with you. The 2 turnovers and the timing of the turnover, with the fumble at the end where they were going in, I thought they were going to actually get a touchdown in that wouldn't have, closed it out. They wouldn't even have to go into overtime. And then, him just wildly underthrowing the ball. If he had threw it out there further, that would have been a touchdown too. So with those two and just him just underperforming, the whole team the offense just really underperformed against, the Vikings. It may be one of those situations where a team just has your numbers, so to speak. But I'm definitely leaning towards, Brees being an issue.
I say absolutely not. I truly 100% unequivocally blame Jason Whitlock for this loss.
Jason Whitlock?
Jason Whitlock is to blame for this Saints game. because he had Sean Payton and Drew Brees so propped up and hyped up as to how many juice. Look at the house over there. Tom Brady and Belichick want to live in Sean Payton and them's house. Look at the mansion, all this other stuff. And they went in there and they was feeling themselves and they got caught off guard. And
bang.
No, here's the real reason, and I don't blame it on I blame it on Sean Payton. Actually, they were outcoached, and I'm gonna tell you why. You're at home with one of the most talented teams that you have, and you're going up against a very stout Vikings defense, all right? Alvin Kamara, 21 rushing yards, 7 attempts on the day. You got too cute. You have got to establish the run when you're going against a defense as stout as that Vikings defense, and you control the clock. It was a low-scoring game anyway. Why get so cute where you start doing all this downfield stuff, this, that, and the other, and you don't have a healthy balance with your running attack? That's on coaching.
I agree and disagree with you. I think they got. I don't think they got cute enough. And so I was watching the game, and this is why I blame Drew Brees, is for the reason Marcellus talking about. The entire from about the third quarter on, second quarter on, I was like, hey man, they need more Taysom Hill. They need more Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill needs 30 snaps at quarterback in this game, and they run these guys off the field.
He was running.
And again, it's like if New Orleans had 25% of what Baltimore does with its quarterback with Taysom Hill, my God, they would have run the Vikings up out of there. I've never watched a game where I've rooted for the backup quarterback coming in, particularly when you got a Hall of Fame quarterback like Drew Brees, where I was literally sitting out there like, well, they're hurting this team sticking with Drew Brees when they could have this team.
Well, if that's the case, you can't blame Drew Brees. You got to go with the coach. Indeed. Because the coach is the one that's going to put who goes out there and who plays, who gets the number of snaps, and like he just said, who's going to get.
Well, you're right, but look, it's a horrible look when you're Drew Brees and you're 40. And remember, he turned 40 last year in the playoffs.
You know, it's a horrible look losing that game to them.
But he lost. Look, at home. He's 0-2 in the playoffs since he turned 40. Last year, we saw him throw the pick. This year, the pick six. This year, the pick. So Drew Brees in the playoffs is not looking great. Then you get a fumble in the costly moments of the game. Oh, yeah. Not even stripped. He got hit on the tricep,
but
bro.
Hold on now.
And when he get hit on the tricep, they highlight the black band.
Who had the play before that got him all the way down in that red zone area?
Yeah. And so here's the thing.
They should have kept him in the game.
It
that was when I told y'all they got too cute.
Sean McDermott should have had Josh Allen stay on them edges, trick plays like that worked in the beginning in the first half of that game. Situational football is not just where we are on the football field in terms of first downs and yardage. It's also who's the hot hand. And situational football should have dictated that Taysom Hill find a way to get him the rock. That's on coach.
Their defense was playing a very, very strong game. They're getting to the quarterback. They were pressuring them. They were tackling. It was a defensive struggle. They should have trusted the run more, and they should have kept Hill in that on that
I disagree
drive.
with that run part. Alvin Kamara didn't have 100 yards this whole year. And then his touchdowns, he only had one touchdown in week 3, and then he had to wait till the last part of the year.
But it still controls the clock.
Yeah, but
and
they
you're
didn't
playing
depend
for
on him
field
this year.
position.
You're
playing for field position.
This isn't. We didn't plan this, but. Does any of this make you concerned that maybe the Saints should move on from Drew Brees?
Right now, at this point, I'm not moving on from him because of like what he has done and what he's still capable of doing. His playoff. No. His playoff play is horrible, but his total body of work.
Debo.
He gonna get me there.
Take a breath,
Listen,
Debo.
he gonna get me there, and I'm gonna figure out a way as a coach to go ahead. You just go get rid of him altogether?
Look, I'm gonna be harsh with this. Drew Brees had to fight tooth and nail to get a 2-year, $50 million deal, which is undervalued. They already had the writing on the wall. Now you have Taysom Hill and Teddy Bridgewater.
Come on, man.
And you have Drew Brees, who is 40 and aging in a world where Phillip Rivers is a free agent, Tom Brady's a free agent, Drew Brees is a free agent. This is the perfect time.
Oh, he's a free agent?
Yeah. Let the circumstances dictate where you don't have to step out there. All these old quarterbacks, let's move on with the old and in with the new. I think it's time.
You know why I love college football so much? It's the type of level where they'll take a kid out at halftime of a national championship game. Put in another guy that's a freshman, a true freshman, and ride it out.
Because they know who he is.
I'm sitting there. First of all, I thought about Teddy Bridgewater because I didn't see Drew Brees playing very well. I just didn't see him playing up to snuff. Then they put in Hill, and he's doing very well, and it's like, wow, they're moving the ball with him running the ball, and then it opened it up for a strong push downfield with his passes. I'm thinking to myself, you gotta go with Hill. You gotta go with Hill. This now, you're now in a situation where when you're looking at Brees and what he represents to this team, is the leadership qualities of and it's almost like the Tom Brady situation, are the leadership qualities, the intangibles that Drew Brees brings to the table enough for you to say, we want to bring him back over these two guys that are willing and able to be able to lead this team?
I'll backpedal and I'll hit reverse. I thought he still had a year left. Thought you were going to just totally cut him. Looking at it now and he's done, you do have Bridgewater, and like you said, you have Taysom Hill, and that could be an awesome 1-2 combination right there.
I don't. The long-term play of Taysom Hill, what we have seen is not it just yet.
Bridgewater? Come on.
Bridgewater's your starter next year, and you use Taysom as a spark.
Right, same way you're doing it now.
Right, but you got
your young quarterback that'll be
I think you certainly strongly consider and move on from Drew Brees.
Yeah.
I also think, though, you go with a unique approach. To me, Baltimore is opening their eyes. Hey, man, go ahead and be different than everybody else. And so if I was New Orleans, I would try to talk Bridgewater and Taysom Hill in. I think I have a package that will work for both of you guys. With Teddy, maybe you get 75% of the snaps, but we got about 25% of this package we want to run with Taysom Hill. I would try that because I think that combination, again, and they did it probably, they gave Taysom Hill, I bet, 8% of the snaps this year or something like that, because they'd certainly breathe, and 8% may be high, but maybe it was 4%. I would elevate that. I would want to make Taysom Hill a regular part of my offense with what he brings to the table, and I'd make Teddy Bridgewater my starter.
The only thing I don't like about that, if I'm a defensive coordinator, because of tendencies, you have to give both of those players the entire playbook. If you just start carving out some part for Taysom, they're going to key on him, and when you start seeing consistency in terms of him getting the reps, you're going to also see consistency in teams starting to stop him. That's going to be a problem.
Let's return to the NFL playoffs, where Deshaun Watson somehow escaped these Bills defenders and led the Texans to an incredible overtime win after trailing Buffalo 16-0 in the third quarter. Not to be outdone, the Titans rode Derrick Henry for 182 rushing yards and a touchdown as they pulled off the upset of the Patriots and snapped New England's 9-game home playoff winning streak. All right, the question here is, more impressive Sunday, Deshaun Watson or Derrick Henry?
Not even close. Derrick Henry, from hello to goodbye, was tilting that rock. I mean, 100 yards at halftime versus Deshaun had 49 yards at halftime as the quarterback. So I'm not a big fan of the captain comeback story because I always remember the first three quarters. Like, damn, you had us down 17? Like, I always remember that there had to be some bad that come with the captain comeback good of that story. So for me, a guy who does it for 4 quarters is going to be greater than anybody who does it for 2 or 1 quarter. So to me, it's Derrick Henry.
I got to go with Derrick Henry, no question. He ran through. That's punishment. That's mano. That's me going and physically dominating and punishing you. 34 snaps of 180-something yards on the ground.
182.
Get out of here. 204 total. That is punishment. They feeling that today. They feeling that today.
On vacation, too.
That's easy. Easy, Henry.
I'm going with Deshaun Watson, and the reason why I'm going with him is in these circumstances, it is very easy to allow the game to be too big for you, the moment to be too big for you. They're at home. They're playing against, Buffalo's defense was bearing down on them. They created a lot of opportunities during the course of the game. At one point, we were texting, at least I was texting us and saying, like, this is crazy. And we were talking about how bad it really was looking. And then all of a sudden, it goes in a whole nother direction. And Deshaun Watson was the catalyst of that taking place. We say, and I've always said, if you're going to be called a franchise quarterback, You got to win in spite of.
Right.
And in spite of a slow start, in spite of not having the reps or the stats, Deshaun Watson somehow, some way came roaring back to win that game. That's super impressive.
It's a quarterback league, and Deshaun Watson, more so than this play that we keep showing him spinning out, the 20-yard scramble for a touchdown where he carried guys the last 6 or 7 yards into the end zone. You thought he would be tackled at the 4 or 5 yard line, and he just drags guys into the end zone. I thought it was an incredible performance, particularly in the second half, obviously. I was somebody during the first half like, oh, my God, Deshaun Watson isn't a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, it's too big for him.
That he's and again, this game kind of proves it out. He plays great in spurts. I'm glad he found a spurt in the second half. I didn't see it coming. For me, it comes down to expectations. I said all week Derrick Henry was going to put it on New England, and he put it on New England.
Yeah. I could give you 20 plays of Derrick Henry dragging 3 and 4 people. I mean, come on. You saying Deshaun's is more impressive?
On the road, one, so it's more impressive to do it on the road than it is at home, one. 2, you did it for 4 quarters, not just 2 quarters.
That's true.
And 3, you weren't even the catalyst that got it all started. J.J. Watt did that.
Yes,
so
he did.
The energy didn't change because of you. It changed because of your defense. And then all of a sudden, you guys rode that momentum. So,
but how many times have y'all been in a situation where you turned the tide with something that you did on the defensive side of the ball, and you sitting on the sideline like?
How many times have you turned around and the whole game is determined by a running back except for 9
and I know you done been there. Look, you know James Harrison have been there on the sideline like this.
Yeah, but did you hear
because
his
you made that
counterpoint?
play.
A running back giving
when have you seen
business
a running back go and give you every yard in that whole quarter except for 9?
Listen, here's my. I'm not debating that.
Point every time except for 2.
Game in reach, 1.33 on the clock. They didn't get it back for 15 seconds.
Derrick Henry is north-south, all right? If I'm giving the credit, since we're talking about J.J. Watt, I'm giving credit to the tight ends and that offensive line of the Titans because they gave Derrick Henry what he needed, which was his ability to get his shoulders going north-south. If you can have a defense that can keep him going east-west, you got a great day against the Derrick Henry, and he's had to deal with that throughout his career.
Well, you're talking style of play. I'm talking about dictating the game. Tannehill, MVP candidate, only had 8 completed passes. You know who did all the damage? Derrick Henry for 4 quarters. How do we argue that?
They went up front.
Strong.
If you watch it, he's not getting touched until he gets to the second level. Of the
I don't care if he ain't getting touched till he gets to the 3rd level. The fact of the matter is, he did it.
He did it.
The offensive line did it.
His offensive line.
So the offensive line.
I don't want to take anything away from Derrick Henry.
I don't either.
All right,
you said any other running back could have did that.
Supporting cast.
Behind that offensive line, any other running back could do that because they got other running backs.
Henry's special. There's no question.
There we go.
He's like an oversized Eric Dickerson. And so that
I don't know. ED's really big too, though. That's a big fella.
Though.
But
that's a different type of freak.
But I thought Tennessee would come in and run it down their throat.
You thought they was gonna run it like that? You not even?
Yeah. Did you not? I guaranteed the end of the Tennessee, and everybody thought I was crazy. You told me to quit betting against.
I told you to quit betting against. I thought they would squeeze it out.
Wait a minute.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm over here
did.
snitching because I'm looking at these group texts destroying Deshaun Watson, and I'm like,
yeah, I know. Trust me, I know.
Right. You was part of it
But
too.
now you going with.
And then also
Now you
none of
going with.
Derrick Henry.
That's right.
None of Derrick Henry.
That's what
And now
made
we
it so
gonna come here
impressive to me. We sitting there like, oh, Deshaun.
You turn French now, y'all.
What are you doing, Deshaun?
Y'all.
It wasn't me.
Uncle Jimmy's here to help us talk about our approval ratings for Tom Brady.
You.
All right, but first, who's your big dummy of the day?
Yeah.
You.
You know.
You know. What'd you say? I'm sure Bill Belichick agrees with me. On what? You ain't trying hard enough in your diet?
Man,
Where the hell that man gonna agree with you, Jason?
it's the holiday.
On football stuff. All right. Let's return to Tom Brady, whose season is over after the Patriots lost to the Titans on Saturday. Marcellus, earlier you said Brady shouldn't retire.
Yeah.
We know you have those Charger season tickets.
8 of them.
Would he be a good fit for your former team?
Gonna sell him? Give him away?
I'm warming up to this idea because at first I was looking at it strictly as him as a prospect. I was like, Brady at this age, is he enough? But with the talent that we have on our roster, and you talk about the receivers who can go out there and go get it, tight ends as well. We have a running game. Eckler could be the James White he needs. I think our roster is the best fit for Tom Brady, and then on top of that, the entertainment value, him selling the suites and selling the PSLs, all that. Come on, Brady. I'm ready for you, brother.
You know, I kind of like this idea as well. I'd love to have Tom Brady out here in Los Angeles repping for the NFL. I think it would be good for the league. So I like it as well.
Money talks.
All right, Uncle Jimmy.
Oh, here we go.
I say Tom Brady should retire, though. And I say he's done as an elite quarterback. What say you?
I say that Twitter need to give me my blue check. That's what I say they need to do.
You ain't got his blue check yet?
Yeah, man. So based on that, let me just send this one out to all my Twitiots.
Twitiots, yeah.
Yeah, all my Twitiots out there. I need y'all to get close to the TV.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell y'all a story about the great American patriot, Big Tom Brady. Now, 20 long years ago, in the NFL, he did as he pleased. But Saturday night, nephew, didn't it look like he was running on his knees? That's why Bill Belichick was sitting up there at the press conference looking like one of the Kingsmen. He said, "We're talking about boom, 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 boom." They said, "Hey, man, what'd you think about Tom when you first met him?" He said, "He was a pale little kid when he came to me. A 6th-round pick. We got him at 33. We never think he'd take us home. But 6 rings later, I guess we was wrong." Oh, but Tommy, oh yeah, you gotta go. yeah, Tommy, oh yeah, you gotta go. Check this out. Now you ain't got Gronkowski to pick up the slack. You had him for years and then you broke his back. This might be a good time to go to your wife and kids, because the NFL knows all of the things y'all did. Ow, Tommy, oh yeah, you gotta go. Come on. Yeah, Tommy, oh yeah, you gotta go. Come on. Dun, 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 dun. Now, let me tell y'all something. The moral of this story is, Tom Brady, when you sail the 7 seas, instead of taking your woman with you, take your homie. Who that? You know, Drew Brees. Oh, Tommy. Oh, yeah. You gotta go. Oh, yeah.
Not bad.
Tommy. I'm happy, boy.
Not
yeah.
And I agree with you.
You gotta go.
It's time to go.
It's time to go.
And Phillip Rivers.
Drew Brees.
Take Phillip Rivers with you.
All the 40-year-old quarterback. Having said that,
still a
as
GOAT.
I said, I elevate him to GOAT status. It's over with. Now that the dynasty's over, and he's no longer a threat to Patrick Mahomes, I got nothing but respect for Tom Brady. He's the greatest we've ever seen.
Unreal.
GOAT status up to an 89, raising 14 points in job performance. Brady, you're the best.
6 rings, not a GOAT. Retire, throw a pick 6.
Tommy.
For life. For me, he's already been a GOAT. I just keep him right there where he is.
Go.
But come to LA, baby. We waiting on you. Our performance went up too because it wasn't his fault.
Tommy.
Not bad, Uncle Jimmy. All right, the internet agrees with both of us.